So welcome guys, I'm Ruben. So let's dig into these labs. We're going to be doing the labs and sorry for that, the labs and the insecure direct object references, Idor, these labs and web application security. So we start off with this one. I'll start off the lab. So this lab contains an insecure direct object references vulnerability that allows unauthorized access to other customers' invoices. To complete this lab, access other customers' invoices by changing the invoice ID value in the URL and find the invoice of the customer named Emilia Round. What is the email address of the customer named? Nice. So the main thing we're looking for is the email address for this specific customer, but you have to manipulate and exploit the ID or vulnerability. So it has already spawned the machine. We access it. This was the easiest lab of them all. So checking this, you can notice in the URL part you have invoice ID 1001. You have John Doe. This is the specific customer. If we change this user ID, notice we'll get another user, Jane Smith. Now we go on and on till we get for that specific user we need. Emilia Round. So this specific is the one. So you just copy this email address, paste it on the platform, and that will be the correct answer. Those are 3 points. Thank you so much. We can close that lab. Yes, we minimize that. We open this other one. So ticket sales. This lab contains an insecure direct object reference vulnerability that causes a product to be offered at a lower price. Your starting balance will not be enough to purchase tickets. To complete the lab, purchase tickets by manipulating the price sent to the server during ticket purchase. What is the order ID that appears after the ticket is purchased? We can now start the lab. Notice this specific lab, we need to use one of the tools, one of the greatest tools a cybersecurity expert can have, burpsuite. This specific burpsuite, I'm not using any premium version. It's just the community version. So once you download and install it, you can just use it. So the lab is already up. We can copy it. Let's wait for this to start up. In the meantime, we can be looking into that lab. We'll close that. You see, so the price of one ticket is 300. Amount of money in your account is 50. You can notice literally if one one ticket is 300, we can't literally buy any of them. So notice the burpsuite is already up. Proxy. I normally don't use the other type of proxy where you set it up on your search engine. I just use the Chromium inbuilt for burpsuite. Notice the intercept is still off. So right now you can notice this. If I try to purchase one ticket, I can't buy it because I don't have enough money in my account. Let's see what I will do. I'll turn intercept on so that I can manipulate the traffic. Then if I do two tickets, then click buy, the intercept will get that. You can yeah, nice one. So notice this, the amount is 2. Yeah, we need two tickets, but the ticket money is 300. So notice you can manipulate this. If let's say manipulate this to 10, so each ticket will be valued at 10 shillings or $10. So if I forward this traffic, notice I already bought the tickets. Now I bought the tickets at $10 each or £10. What you were asked for, you were asked to get this order ID. So just copy this and paste it in the platform, and you already have your 3 points for the ticket sales lab. Thank you so much for watching that. We can now close that lab. Then we move to the next lab, the change password lab. Still under Idor, maintain that. So this lab contains an insecure direct object references Idor vulnerability that leads to unauthorized password change of other users. To complete the lab, change the password of user admin by exploiting the Idor vulnerability in the password change endpoint and log in to his account. So notice we have to log into the admin account, but before that we have to change the password. So I can now start this lab. In the meantime, I can be clearing whatever we had in the previous lab. History, clear history. Intercept off. So it's already up. We can check it out. Open the browser. We paste the link. So notice you have username test, password test. So you just log in. Notice now you have that option of changing password. So in this current account we are in the test account. So notice I'll just enter a password that I can remember. I'll use the password Sensei. So I want to change, no, logically at the moment I'll be changing the tests, the password for the username test to Sensei. Remember it was originally test. So if I hit confirm, but I want it right away, I want to intercept. So remember to turn this intercept on at that point before you click confirm. When you hit confirm, notice this password Sensei user ID 2. So literally, since we are having the user ID 2, you notice the user ID 2 is currently for the username tests. If I want to change it to the for the username admin, I'll change this to 1. It can either be 1, it can either be 2, but you have to confirm. I'll show you how we confirm this. So if I forward that, notice I've already gotten the confirmation. It's admin password that has been changed. So you don't need to worry to go back and change for user ID 3 because you already know it's for admin. If by case there's a user ID 3 and we use the same format, we change the user ID to 3, we'll have already changed the password for user ID 3. So what do you do now? You can now turn the intercept off. Then I log out. Notice I know the password for admin. If I log out, then I log back in with the username admin, password Sensei. It's the same password I set the other time. So and you are in. So the phone number of the username for the username admin is this 876-987-8489. You already have your 3 points. So you just paste it here and you already have that. So I'll stop that lab. Thank you so much for watching that. We now move to the next lab, money transfer. So this lab contains an insecure direct object references vulnerability that allows you to transfer money from another user's account. To complete the lab, transfer money from user 2 to your own account, user 1, by exploiting the Idor vulnerability in the endpoint performing the money transfer. What is the transfer ID that appears when money arrives in the user account? So I'll start the lab. In the meantime, I'll be clearing all that we had for the previous lab. Make my burpsuite on a clean slate. Yeah, right. Intercept is off. So immediately it spawns the machine. You can come and open the browser. Opening the browser, I paste that link. So this is the user interface we're dealing with at the moment. So my account name is user1, and I currently have 1,000 at the moment. So my task is to transfer money from user ID 2 to user ID 1, right? But currently I'm under user ID 1. So what can you do? You can just test it out first. Let's try to transfer 200 to the receiver ID 1, right? But this will give an error because you can't transfer money to yourself. Yeah, you cannot send money to yourself. So what do you do at this point? We now try to manipulate this by exploiting the Idor vulnerability. So I'll try any amount. We are not restricted to the number of amount. The receiver ID, I'll just use 2 at the moment because 2 is will perfectly work, but I'll have to use my intercept so that I change those values. So if I click confirm, notice this, this request was captured. The transfer amount is 300. If you want to change it, it's okay, but the recipient ID is recipient ID 2 and the send ID is 1. But our main aim for this lab, it was to transfer money to your own account from the user ID 2. So the send ID should not be 1, should be 2, right? We are going to exploit this to make sure money comes from the user ID 2 to user ID 1. So the recipient will now switch to 1, and we forward that traffic. We also forward that. Notice the transfer was successful. Money came to your account. Transaction ID 5700343 FBBD8F6F84. So just copy this, copy the whole transaction ID, paste it on the platform. You already have your 3 points, VIP points. Nice one. So thank you so much for watching that. You can stop that lab. And move to the next lab, the last lab under Idor. So update account is the title for this lab. So this lab contains an insecure direct object references vulnerability that leads to unauthorized modification of other users' account information. To complete the lab, identify the Idor vulnerability in the endpoint, where you can change the account information of user reanimation, view other users' account information. So we are going to exploit the Idor vulnerability and be able to see other users' information. This was more of a tough one, but the tough version of Invoices. Remember, Invoices were just changing the user ID. So I'll start this lab. In the meantime, I'll be cleaning the slate for burpsuite so that we can have a good thing. Clear history. Yeah, I'm sure. Intercept, turn intercept off, and it's done. So we can now open the browser here. After opening the browser, we paste the link. Notice this, we have Nadia Renoka as the current user, but you are told we need to get the phone number for the user reanimation. So what do we do? I'll try to work with intercept on, then I'll refresh this page. If I refresh this page, I get this. What do you notice about this? I have the user ID 1. I can send this to the repeater just to make sure we are on the good side. If I send this, notice we are still under Nadia, right? Let's change this to user ID to the ID 2. So it's the cookie, under the cookie part, the ID 2. We send that. Let's see what we'll get. And notice it has changed. We are now dealing with Daryl Deep Rose. So once we know that, we can understand we need for the other user 3, to check if it will give Reni. And nice, this is perfect. We have Reni. Since you can't copy from here, it's either you copy from the pretty part, you enter, it's either you copy from this pretty part the value, or you can just go back to the proxy, change this user ID to 3, since you already know it's 3 at the moment. We forward the traffic, still we have to forward it again, and we'll get this, so you can just copy from here. If you copy this, paste it on your platform, and you'll get the 3 points. Thank you so much for watching this. See you on the next one.